Standing for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call down.
Maxwell, Hudson, Inez,
Here.
Point,
Here.
Kent,
Here.
Westerman.
Here. Move on to public comment for any non-business and business items. If anybody has a public comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Got nothing. We'll move on to agenda. Yeah, consent agenda.
I need to add a business item. Anywhere, Andrew, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll make it business item number 6. So
No.
we'll add it.
Oh, yeah.
before the- We'll add it
Before
before the
six.
executive. Business item, talk about alcohol at Central Park for July 3rd. And I will move to approve the consent agenda. One second.
A motion to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Deb, roll call.
Inez,
Aye.
Kent,
Aye.
Westerman.
Aye. Reports are up first, I see. I'll look your way.
It's comfortable. Yesterday, we were joking, we were gonna have John, we were gonna video him giving this. And I was gonna play it here, like a 45-minute video, but
It could only be fair.
I
He's on vacation, it'll only be fair, right?
don't know, yeah, I don't know, he's not on vacation. Just real quickly, roundabout, on the west leg, you drove by there lately, they're putting fabric and gravel down, similar to what they did on the east leg. I expect that, Thursday, you're gonna see concrete crews in here doing curb and gutter. And I think by the end of next week, a lot of the pavement on Willow will be done,
On the east.
east and west.
Oh, what? They're gonna get curb and gutter on the west too, or is there no curb and gutter over there?
Yeah, there is some curb and gutter.
They'll be that far along. Wow.
Well, we still got where
We're
that,
just going to the entrance to the new case.
yeah, we still have some box culvert work we gotta do
Yeah.
farther to the west, but. You're gonna see a lot changing this week
Cool.
and next week. That's kind of a roundabout, it's, phase 1 sanitary sewer project. 274th, there's a couple of soft spots they gotta take care of, but 274th is basically done, pipe is extended all the way to just south of Tom Sawyer Trail. And I would think starting probably there, we are gonna cross Tom Sawyer Trail, which will be a total closure. We're gonna coordinate that. We're doing open mill and overlay on Kent Street. And at that time, 272nd will be completely open. So, more to come on that. Prospect Street or 272nd that we were just talking about, the west half is paved. I expect they're gonna start paving the intersection of Cliff at 272nd either tomorrow or Thursday. And I think by next, probably Tuesday morning, that the intersection will be done. And then I expect then the end of that week, like we talked about the 3-week closure, that the rest of Cliff will be open, going north. So, the shoulders are paved, where Fiechner has to widen it. We just gotta start the crossing. Crossings are gonna take maybe a day at the most. They already have the shoulders graded and gravelled. They're gonna probably start paving the shoulders that this week too. A lot of coordination with veterinary clinic. Everybody still comes from the north. And tries to, get in. People come from the north to get in the vet clinic can, it's all the other people that think they can keep going other directions. So we've had a lot of discussions with them. As part of the sewer project, I should mention, we're gonna try to do the top lift at Cliff at Honeysuckle week from Thursday. We're gonna do it maybe from like 8:30 to 2:30. And we're gonna try the best we can do. We're gonna wait till the rush hour in the morning's over. And we are gonna detour cars through the the vacant lot, or not the vacant lot, but there's some construction going on with twin homes. I talked to the owner and he's agreed that we can use that as a detour to get there instead of slowing down the roundabout. So
Out of that, that's a good idea.
I called him today, he was open to that, so that's the plan is next Thursday, probably between, 8:30 and 2:30. Get it done and open for the afternoon peak. Project 4, which is the sidewalk improvements from last year. Pouring concrete at the wastewater plant. You drive by the Legion, you're gonna see brand new concrete there. And they're setting up forms, for that, on that south side of Willow Road going to the east. As we were out there today, a young girl came by, she got there, drove the sidewalk till the tracks, and then carried her scooter, and I said, well, in a week from now, you'll be able to ride through here. She was very happy she won't have to carry the scooter. So,
Hero, John.
what?
You're a hero.
I don't think that's true. I did add number 5, which is asphalt, pavement and curb repairs. It'll happen later this year on Kent, mainly on Kent and Cliff. And with that, I'll just, do you have any questions? These other projects are in design or are in the warranty period.
Well, that, were you guys doing some surveying work for that downtown drainage and analysis? I had somebody in the old part of Harrisburg, just south of City Hall on Prairie. Call me last week asking how come there was people surveying in his yard, and he went out and asked them for their survey for it, and they told me couldn't tell him what it was for. So he called me, and I said,
One of the options is to look at, if there's any possible way to use that vacant lot that has the gas line running through it, but I think if our surveyors would have been out there, they would have identified themselves.
Yeah.
Who they were with and what they were doing, right? So.
I wasn't sure, so I told him I'd check into it, so. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll move on, business item number 1, consider lease agreement between the city of Harrisburg and the U.S. Postal Service.
And we take that up after the executive session.
Move on to business item number 2. Consider pre-annexation agreement associated with the plat of track 1C Javers Edition.
Chad Hebe representing planning and zoning. This agreement is associated with this plat that we approved back on May 16th, and it's outside the city limits, but it's in our planning jurisdiction. And we just didn't have that pre-annexation agreement signed by all the parties. We brought the plat forward, and the plat hasn't been recorded either, but we'll record them both now at the same time. And just as I'll run through this pre-annexation a little bit. It states that the property owners will submit a petition for voluntary annexation within 60 days of receipt of a request to annex from the city. All property in the subdivision will be included in the annexation. The parties will connect to city utilities within 1 year of the installation of those city utilities. They will not petition to de-annex once they're in, and they will comply with all existing zoning, building, and property maintenance codes. Planning Commission recommends approval, or approved it and recommends your approval. And this is typical what we do when we approve a plat that's outside the city limits, but within our platting jurisdiction.
I move to approve the pre-annexation agreement associated with plat of track 1C Javers Edition.
Second. Have a motion to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Deb, roll call.
Inez,
Aye.
Kent,
Aye.
Westerman,
Aye. Business item number 3, consider agreement for the state of South Dakota for track highway rail guard crossing on 274th Street.
So this is the agreement for the crossing down on 274. This is just the next step in that process. We're responsible for 10%, which is a little over $26,000. And I talked to the guy from the state late last week, and everything goes well, it should be installed. I said by the end of the year, but he's thinking it will be sometime in September. So I highly recommend you support this. This is a great,
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Lifesaver.
I move to approve the agreement with the state of South Dakota for the track, highway, and rail crossing on 274th Street.
Second.
I have a motion to approve. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Deb, roll call.
Inez.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Westerman.
Resolution 2023-07, petition for annexation of certain property contiguous to the city of Harrisburg, Yale's tract 1 in the in the east half of southeast quarter except lot H1, section 34, township 100 north, range 50 west, 5th prime meridian, Lincoln County, South Dakota, approximately 9.3 acres.
So items 4 and 5 are related. We had 4 is the annexation and 5 is the rezoning, and we kind of got ahead of ourselves with the steps that we were supposed to follow. And so item 5 has been in front of you before. We just tabled for the last time. So item 4 is the actual annexation. Let's see, can we zoom in here? Right north of there, right there. Zoom in a little bit. So that's the 9.3 acres, owned by Larry Johns. City utilities are available, and the process is in the property is in the process of being rezoned from ag to general business. The item was approved by the planning commission, and storm drainage and street assessment fees will be charged when the property is transferred or ceases to be used as a single family residence. And that kind of summarizes the petition to annex and the annexation agreement. And a representative from the petitioners here tonight, if you have any questions for him.
I move to approve resolution 2023-07, petition for annexation of certain properties contiguous to the city of Harrisburg, EO tract 1 in the east half of the southeast 1/4 except lot H-1, section 34, township 100 north, range 50 west, 5th prime meridian, Lincoln County, South Dakota, approximately 9.3 acres.
Second.
I have a motion to approve. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Deb, roll call.
Inez.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Westerman.
Aye.
Bill number 5, second reading ordinance 2023-03, revising the zoning regulations of the city of Harrisburg. Changing the zoning of Yayo's tract 1 in the east half of the southeast quarter except lot A of lot H1 and except lot H1, section 34, township 100 north, range 50 west, 5th prime meridian, Lincoln County, South Dakota, from agriculture to general business.
This process started back in March of 23 and has went through the public hearing at the planning commission, public hearing at the city council level, and now here we're tonight for the second reading of the rezoning from ag to general business. And we recommend you approve this.
Move to approve ordinance 2023-03, revising the zoning regulations of the city of Harrisburg, changing the zoning of EO's tract 1 in the east half of the southeast quarter except lot A of lot H1 and except lot H1, section 34, township north, range 50 west, 5th PM, Lincoln County, South Dakota, from agricultural to general business. Second.
A motion to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Deb, roll call.
Inez.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Westerman.
This item number 6, alcohol and Central Park for January 3rd celebration.
Don't think that there's necessarily enough time to find a vendor or do beer garden or anything, so the idea was just to allow the consumption of it and then being BYOB.
Okay.
And when we or in the past, we've been on the 4th of July with the fireworks display, but we weren't able to find any vendors that had availability on that day, at least not for the size of our show, so the 3rd is what we got.
Certain time frame,
The,
strictly
just July 3rd,
just July 3rd.
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't need to last any longer than that.
Are we gonna have anybody from Public Works put out like garbage bills or anything out there, or something that collect?
Yeah, we'll be doing some state, more than just that even, because, we might have the axe throwing, talking about invite a few food trucks. Every year we can add a little bit more to that 4th of July Day celebration in Central Park. We started out just needing to spray for bugs. Now that we got the bugs under control, people want stuff to actually do.
I move to approve the alcohol consumption at Central Park on July 3rd, 2023.
Second.
A motion to approve, any further discussion? Hearing none, Deb, roll call.
Inez.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Westerman.
Aye. Do you have anything before we go into exec?
I'm not. Good seeing you, Ben.
How's the traffic? How's the traffic numbers been, when they've been,
I don't have any specific numbers, but
Just-
from our perspective,
people are banned pretty good?
Yeah.
So they're not.
When you're around, they're obeying, right?
Yeah. Alright,
I move to enter into executive session at 18:17 PM or 6:17 PM.
Can you cite the subsection at least?
Pursuant to South Dakota Code by Law 1-25-2 for contract negotiations.
Thank you.
Second.
roll call.
We don't have to.
Roll call.
Inez.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Westerman.
Aye.